Hello, fellow Star Citizens! We have exciting news! Star Citizen Alpha 3.17 update has just gone into Evocati testing, and from the looks of things, it looks to be an absolutely insane patch. Today, I just wanted to go over a few of the things that we're going to be looking at in the 3.17 patch, what's coming, what's changing, and some of the quality of life updates that they are offering to us in this patch. Because, let me tell you guys right now, this patch is absolutely incredible. So, let's start with going over what we know is coming, and then go over some of the things that we have discovered in the Evocati patch, and then we'll talk a little bit about what this patch means for the future of the game. So, as you guys probably know, if you look at the release view for Star Citizen, there's quite a few things that are coming in this patch. It is a pretty big patch. People have reported that the patch is about 17 gigabytes, which makes it about 20% the size of the full game. So there's a ton of stuff coming in this patch. Things that are coming include DNA head textures updates, so that's higher fidelity textures for character models, including more options for characters, so you will be able to customize your player character a lot better with that. This also includes the Maria Pure of Heart Hospital on Lorville being the final planetary hospital location in the Stanton system, and that's very exciting news. They've also done updates on the station clinics, giving more modules and more variations, so not all of the station clinics will be perfectly identical. They'll all have some variation, and that'll make things really interesting. Going along with that update to the station clinics, there's actually 4 new space stations that have been added to the Stanton system. This includes MIC-L2, MIC-L3, MIC-L4, and MIC-L5 Lagrange points, which are being added along with space stations, clinics, refinery decks, all of that stuff. So 4 whole new space stations to go and check out as points of interest, and that's really, really exciting stuff. As far as AI is concerned, we know that we are getting the coffee vendor who is going to be in ArtCorp. You'll be able to go there and order coffee, and the AI will interact with the coffee machines and make you a cup of coffee. There's also been some things that people have found in the code in this new patch regarding a bunch of new NPC AI options. I think this coffee thing is just a very, very small portion of some things that they're trying out with the NPC AIs, and we're going to be seeing a lot of really, really interesting things coming in the future. As far as gameplay is concerned, they have added mining gadgets, so you'll be able to buy those, add them to your inventory, take them with you on a mining expedition. Then when you get to those big rocks, you'll be able to, exit your ship, EVA over to the rocks, apply the mining gadget, and then the mining gadget will influence your ability to mine these rocks by lowering the resistance or making it more stable, stuff like that. Also, ship-to-ship refueling is coming in this update, which means that the Starfarers now have a functioning refueling and refinery deck, along with a whole new set of screens and a whole new user interface in doing that. Alongside that, they've also completely updated the refueling interface in the Mobi-Glass, so whenever you go to refuel, there are a lot more options. It's a lot cleaner of an interface. It looks amazing. They've also added selling items to shops, so any items that you have in your inventory, you will be able to sell to shops. They've also completely reworked the user interface for the shop terminals and the ASOP terminals, moving them over to the new building blocks system, making them a lot cleaner, more user-friendly, giving options to search for things, which is extremely helpful. And it seems like there is also an option to buy something and have it sent somewhere else. So, for instance, if you are buying guns at Grimhex, instead of them by default being stored at Grimhex, you can buy them at Grimhex, but have them sent over to Everest Harbor or something like that. Speaking of Everest Harbor, they are now separating the inventories for planet side and station side inventories, so you will no longer be able to access the same things from like Everest Harbor as you would be from down on Lorville. So that's a big change, which probably means that scrap is coming back online. There are some things that were causing issues with scrap where people were able to buy scrap planet side and then just fly up to the station and sell it straight from the ships without having to actually move the ships, because you could just buy scrap and store it in all of your ships and then just take a little thing up to the orbital station and sell the scrap there and make a profit, which is why they disabled scrap in 3.16, but I think we should see scrap coming back online. As far as ships go, we are getting the Scorpius as well as the Hull A are both being added in this update, and those are both going to be awesome ships. The Scorpius is such a cool heavy fighter. It's pretty large, but its wings can fold in to let it fit in a smaller space, and the Hull A is a really small ship that can hold a lot of cargo. It's the first addition to the Hull series that I'm personally extremely excited for. As far as core tech comes, I think everyone knows already we are getting the river tech, which is super, super interesting. The river tech is going to be on Microtech, and there's only going to be one for now, but they've also messed with water, how you interact with it and how it interacts with you. So now grav bikes are going to be able to fly over the top of water. Ships and players are going to be able to submerge themselves in water. As long as you, a player, are wearing a helmet, you should be able to walk underwater and walk around. And this includes the river on Microtech. This will also include the oceans on Clio and on Hurston. And that just gives a lot of extra things for people to do and to experiment with and kind of play around with. I'm super excited to go and finally get to see what's underneath those oceans and stuff like that. And the river tech, as I mentioned in a previous video, is also a really big step forward in some of the tech that CIG is building for the game. This will expand into not just things like water, but things like lava, as well as their road tech in making planets feel a lot more diverse and alive. And I think we're going to be seeing some amazing changes coming in the next few patches. There have also been a bunch of assets for Pyro added to the game, although we can't see those yet, but they are in. They're starting to import things for Pyro, probably preparing for a full release of Pyro later this year. We are also seeing that they have made some quality of life improvements, like I mentioned before in the updated Mobiglass AI, the shop AI, as well as things like adding a dedicated keybind for calling the air traffic controllers at stations, which is really, really, really nice to see. Other things that we're seeing in this update are potential routes for NPC taxi missions, which is going to be a whole new gameplay loop, as well as NPC taxi services that you may be able to hitch a ride from one station to another on. So that's really interesting and a really cool thing for the future of the game going forward. We may also see the new Reclaimer derelicts that you might have heard about or seen on some of the recent Inside Star Citizen episodes. Those are really interesting. I'm very excited to see that, if those are actually coming in this update. They also mentioned in the most recent ISC that they have been testing out volumetric clouds on Hurston, so that'll be really interesting to see. I'm not sure quite yet if those are actually going to make it into this update, but if they do, it's really, really exciting, and it means that their volumetric cloud tech is getting more and more to the point where they're really confident with it, and they may, you know, start moving that onto Hurston, onto ArcCorp, and we're going to be seeing these planets being a lot more realistic and developed, with things like that being added to them. Overall, I think this patch is huge. It's amazing. It's extremely exciting. There's a lot of really, really interesting and also really, really important things for the game that are being included in this patch. And I think this patch shows that CIG is really working to make this the best year yet in Star Citizen. Of course, the patch is only in Evocati right now, and because it's under NDA, there's not a whole lot that we can know, as a lot of these things are being kept under wraps. So everything that I've told you guys that people have discovered is obviously still kind of under consideration. It'll probably be a few days, maybe even a couple weeks, until that Evocati patch makes its way onto the PTU for people with Wave 1 access, like concierge and subscribers, to be able to play around with. But I think that we may see 3.17 going live by the end of this month, which is super duper exciting. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that I was able to give you guys a little more information and insight into what we're looking at for this 3.17 release. If you enjoyed the video, please do make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I am also giving away a Consolidated Outland hover quad this month. All you gotta do to enter to win is make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a comment, so make sure to do that. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Have a wonderful day.